Dome in Rosemont, Illinois for a little 50 and over playoff softball. So we're glad to be out here. We got the Takers, run by Pat Caputo, and we got the Thunder 5-0. Sean Keneally, Chris Lantine involved in running that team as well. So again, this is Chicago 16-inch style softball. And again, if you're tuning in, please feel free to drop a chat in there. Always want to make sure that we're broadcasting live. And it is Chicago 16-inch style softball. There is a little bit of a wink and a nod toward the age of the players in that the first baseman can wear a glove, and the pitcher, if they don't want to use the drag step, they can go barehanded, but they also have the option of wearing a glove. If that's the case, then they have to stay on the rubber. And so Sean Keneally has decided he is going to go ahead and stay on the rubber. So here we go. Leading off, it's going to be Angelo Alicia, I think Petey Raines, and then Tommy. And 60-foot bases. You can lead off, you can't steal. 38 from the rubber to the point of home plate. Pitcher gets 2 fakes or hesitation. Third arm action must be to deliver the ball home. If you're not wearing a glove and you're pitching, you get a drag step, 1 step left, right, or back. And if you're wearing a glove, you got to stay on the rubber. This is an all-turf inside the dome here. 210 down the lines. 235 to dead center field, one of the smallest fields we play on all year. And there is a roof here. The ball hits the roof in fair territory. It is live. It can be caught before it hits the carpet. It's an out. If it hits the carpet, it's all you can get. And there's a little ground ball, just missed it. Angelo tried to just roll it over to the bag at third. Ball was just foul. And again, they normally have a home run rule out here because of the short dimensions, 4. And we do see a lot of ground rule doubles, balls that will bounce over a very short fence in terms of height. It's maybe 3.5 feet, maybe 4 out there. So here's Angelo now on the and there's a swing knocked down by Keneally. He recovers and a little bobble here at first. First baseman thought that there was a little contact. But again, Angelo, you see, they got the safety base there. Angelo was running right over the safety base. Throw kind of took the fielder into the base runner path, and Rich Hennessy just felt it was incidental contact. No bender, Amalia. Had a nasty sinus infection, and then I was heading out of town to Denver for the NCAA tournament last weekend. Flew back into Chicago yesterday, feeling a little better. Still got some residual effects from that sinus infection. Just seems like everybody's getting them. But we're back out here, and Petey takes that pitch inside. And I believe we are going to be out in Harrison Park on Saturday. There's a little roller to short, a little bobble, can't make the play, everybody's safe. So the first 2 hitters have not gotten the ball out of the infield, but there's 2 base runners here for takers. And it brings up Tommy. And he swings, and that ball does not hit the roof. Long run, center fielder makes the catch about knee high. Kind of spiked the throw, but no chance to advance. So nice running catch by the center fielder. throw wasn't so nice, but got the job done, kept the runners where they were. And here comes Marty Dozen. I haven't said it in a while, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Inside gag. Of course, Marty did play on Mudville, as did his brother Matty, who's also playing here. Matty will be coming up a little bit later for the Takers. And there's a swing, and he strokes it the other way. Nice basket catch there by the right fielder. Angelo Alicia tags. He gets out to third base, so runners on the corner now with 2 outs. And here comes Billy. And there's a swing as he guides it just over to short center. 1 run is in. Petey Raines hustling into third. And we have our first lead of the ball game as the Takers take a 1-0 lead here. As Billy just stroked it right over the top of the short center. And that's going to bring up Davey Bradle. And, well, I got to say it, Davey was on a Mudville team as well. And there's a strike. Dave Winslow on deck. And Bradle swings. Long run, and it's going to get down. 1 run is in. Bradle with a double. Second run scores. 3-0 ball game. So again, one of the primary differences when we do games during the summer, and you know, of course, later on, starting in April, I believe they'll have men's 16-inch out here regular, and the difference generally, the biggest difference that you'll see is outfield play. A lot of the 50 and over teams, the outfielders aren't necessarily the most fleetest of foot at this point in their careers. And so that's a good example, that ball that Bradle just hit. And there's a ground ball. It goes off the shortstop. Looked like Chris Miller was kind of going over there. May have distracted his teammate there as he got kind of close to him. Excuse me, folks. So 4-0 here in the top of the first. So that is the biggest difference. And here's Matty Dozen. Or I'm sorry, this is not Matty Dozen. It's Mike Sinise. And Mike grounds out to end the inning. But 4 runs do cross. Takers an early lead here. And we're going to head to the bottom of the first. 4-0 Takers. So we always like coming out and doing these 50 and over games, primarily because it lets us catch up. So it's going to be Eric, Tommy, and Chris. And Sean, can you put positions there for me? Here you go. So just getting the lineup card cleaned up a little bit. So we'll be out at Harrison Park. Los Barachos, if I'm not mistaken, that is Stevo Rodriguez. Usually runs his Coats tournament where they generally want people to bring donations. And there's a ground ball, so leadoff man on. Looked like Marty Dozen at first base got handcuffed a little bit. And the ball just kind of bounced off the heel of his mitt. Thank you. So leadoff man on here, and it brings up Tommy Lentine. So that's always a, a fun event. They do a great job at Harrison Park, both Manny, Steve, Francisco when he does things there. And Tommy Lentine just slashes a hit over the top of third. Good job there by Eric to hustle in. And that's really a good read by Eric. He could tell that that ball was down. A lot of times when you see guys cut the ball to left field, they can't necessarily get there. But Tommy, who is a cutter and a push guy, but he cuts and pushes toward the alleys a lot. Here's Chris Miller. Of course, Chris has been an MVP, and Chris dumps a base hit. One run's going to score. Lentine will cruise into third. So we told you, Chris Miller has won an MVP in the 50 and over, and so has Tommy Lentine. So they got a couple of MVPs at the 50 and over level on this team. And the interesting thing is when Tommy Lentine won his MVP, the interesting thing was that year, I think Chris Lentine won the MVP at the major. I think he was a co-MVP with Nate Mercado that year. Here's Bob. And he swings and he drives it, but it scrapes the roof and it's going to fair. Drop down fair, that's another run, and they change places, first and third. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say, was it Ashley Lentine? I think that like 3 Lentines won MVPs that year. It was interesting. It was like the Lentine year. So Thunder not dissuaded by the early 4-0 lead. First 4 hitters have gotten on. 2 have scored, 2 on the corners, and here's Jeff. And called that pitch a strike. And there's a little soft fly ball, long run in. Bradle started back. He recovers, tried to throw behind Lentine. Easy tag for Miller, 4-3. So that's a nice play there by Dave Bradle as he came and had to run a long way. You can see on the replay, and he did get there, but a run was going to score either way. So here's Adam, the shortstop. So 4-3 ball game now. Runner on first. That was really a nice catch there by Dave Bradle. And Adam swings and he drives it, and Angelo Alicia can't make the play. Ball went off of his foot. We're all tied. Chugging to third is Adam. And we're all tied up. So a little sinking line drive toward the gap. You can see Angelo Alicia couldn't make the catch. It deflected off of his foot. Stand-up triple. So we're all tied at 4 here in the bottom of the first. Little bit of a slugfest. Here's Vinny, the left fielder. And Vinny pounds it to center. Angelo Alicia makes the catch. And Thunder's played at 5 and has taken the lead here. So 2 outs now. It's going to bring up Tim, the first baseman. So good job by Thunder answering the bell here after they fell behind by 4. Come on, Timmy. So y'all know I'm a big basketball junkie. And there's a swing and a line drive right at Winslow for the 3rd out. But 5-run score as we head to the top of the second. New leader in town, and it's Thunder. So while my Ramblers did not get invited to the big dance, they did get invited to the NIT, and they're still alive and actually got a home game. So I'll be excited to be back at the Joe one more time this year. And it'll be nice to see them. If I know the students and the alumni, the place will be packed. So it should be a riot. So here's Johnny Pellegrino, then Matty Dozen, and then Ellerby. And there's a little spinner, but going back is Adam, the shortstop, and he makes the catch for out number 1. So John is a cutter by trade. Back in the day, he could go if you cheated him. Tried to cut there, just didn't get enough of the ball to get it out over the infield. And here's Matty Dozen. Sherry, this is in the Rosemont Dome, up where the Bandits and the Chicago Dogs play, up in Rosemont, right off of 294 and Balmoral, north. And there's a ground ball. Tommy Lentine sucks it up and makes the play. So here comes Ellerby, and so we are on basically a northern suburb of the city of Chicago. It's west of the city, north and slightly west, but not too far west. That pitch looked like it was called a ball there. And there's a ground ball, gets past Keneally, and Chris Miller couldn't get there. And Chris almost made a little bit of a mistake. He kind of put his foot out there, and I think he was hoping to maybe get in front of it and stop it, but the way he kind of waved his foot there, you know, you're playing with fire there. You don't want to accidentally, as both of your outfielders are running toward it, kick it away from anybody. So here's Scotty Toothpick. Come on, Scotty. It's right there. Scotty swings it, little ground ball over to the second baseman, and the lefty makes the play. Very nicely done there by Jeff. You don't see a lot of left-handed second basemen, but he got the job done. So we're going to head now, top of the second, still 5-4 Thunder. And I think just talking to some players, just seems like everybody seems like they're really kind of excited about the upcoming season. I think we've had, as is usual out here in Chicago, a lot of player movement, and from what I've been picking up through the grapevine, it seems like some of the big teams. Pardon? Dale then Sean I got, but you guys haven't hit yet, so. No, Dale and Sean, this is right. So I think the big boys all got a little better, and Hex did some interesting things. They brought in the sauce guys. I think that they're going to have a chance to be a little more consistent. There's a ground ball to Scotty. Picks it up, and he throws Dale out at first, and it brings up the pitcher, Sean Keneally. And flash 45s. Some interesting things were going on out in Washington Park with some player movement. And for you managers out there, the Westchester list is being finalized, and it should be going out this week. Okay, Amalia, there's a little flare, and it drops into left field for a base hit. Amalia, I'll look into the settings on that. I thought that the replay said replay. They had a real gaudy graphic that took too much time to load, and I did change the setting because I just wanted it to say replay but not have a precursor. And Angelo Alicia, nice running catch into the gap for out number 2. So Eric flies out, and it brings up Tommy Lentine. So I'll look into that. Thank you for the feedback. I thought that they had a little bit more of a discreet something that just said replay on there. So I will take a look at it. And if anybody's watching, tell me what the caption says. It should say GOTW, game of the week. And Tommy Lentine's second hit of the ball game. Runner was moving. He'll get to third. They handle the throw, so he can't advance any further. Brings up Chris. Tell me what the caption on the video is. It should say GOTW 50 and over playoffs on there. I think I figured out why. I don't know why it doesn't correct. It should correct. And there's a swing, line drive right to third. So Chris Miller can't drive in a run. We're going to head to the third inning. Same score. Of course, I will update the title after the game, but it's very frustrating. I thought I figured it out. So needless to say, I'm a little frustrated with the software. So we'll keep working on it and hopefully get this thing straightened out before the season starts. So here's Tony, extra hitting. Takes that pitch a little deep. So we got to figure that out. We'll get it done. And of course, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors, but Sweet Buzz in particular, one of our anchor sponsors for the Chicago Summer Series, is going to be year 2 for that. And we had a lot of great feedback. A little ground ball, the lefty second baseman handles it, and that's out number 1 into the top of the lineup in Angelo Alicia. And we still owe you the all-tournament teams. Unfortunately, I got sick a couple of times over the winter, and we weren't able to set up our banquet like we wanted to. But we will have the team. We will announce it. Talking to Jerry Brown right now. We're planning on doing a show where we're going to do a reveal and maybe see if we can't get the All-Summer Series guys to show up. Might not be a banquet, but we'd like to maybe do a live stream and get everybody in the room, take some pictures, and honor them. There's a base hit for Alicia, and it sneaks past the right fielder. Angelo clipping along, going to third. They're going to hold him. So it just looked like it was going to be a simple single. Right fielder Dale came in, The ball was just kind of hugging the carpet, and it got through his hands. Brings up Petey Raines now. So 1 out runner on third. Taker's down by a run. And Pete Raines line drive to Keneally. And hit the ball right on the screws, but right at Keneally. He knocked it down. Angelo couldn't score. So let's look back and remember that. Sorry, folks, I went to the replay a little too late. It was a great play by Keneally to knock it down. Puts the pressure now on Tommy. And, of course, you're in the playoffs here. You're down a run. You'd never want to not score a run when he's at third with less than 2 outs. And now they're in jeopardy of doing that. And Tommy, line drive, little bobble, but he makes the catch. And this time we will show you the replay. So Tommy trying to go the other way. Good play here by the first baseman. And you can see he bobbled it, but he held on. So we'll keep put that in our memory banks as they fail to score the runner from third with less than 2 outs. And should they happen to lose the game by a run, that could turn out to be the difference. So we are in the bottom of the third. Okay, Maya, I'm not sure why you're not seeing a replay. I just did quickly look in my settings. And here's Bob, the catcher. And it did say that the replay overlay was on, so I'm not quite sure why it's not showing up, but I'll look into that. So leadoff man on, it brings up Jeff. Interesting thing is sometimes when a team dodges a bullet like that, and there's a ground ball, and they'll get the fielder's choice, ball gets away, but runner can't advance. So nice job there by the short center. Tommy, he flipped it over to Billy, but no chance at getting the lefty coming down the line. So here's the shortstop, Adam. 1 on, 1 out here, bottom of the third. We're glad you could join us. And there's a swing and a humpback. Nice play by Billy. He did take 3 or 4 steps. Show you the replay there. It was nicely done, but not quite sure why he didn't go the short way for a fielder's choice there. But and actually, I do know, watching the replay, good hustle there by the base runner. But Billy was... And there's a ground ball, and Marty Dozen takes care of it. So despite getting a runner over to second, they can't push him across as Vinny grounds out to end the inning. And we're going to head to the fourth. Still 5-4. So after 9 runs in the first inning, the game has settled in. We talk about that happening all the time. Yeah, I understand that, Amalia. That's why I don't know why it's not showing up. But I'll take a look at it and we'll see why if they had some normal quick loading thing that said replay. We really never really get that much time. So here's Marty Dozen leading off. The top of the fourth, 1-run ball game here. Again, this is the playoffs. It's win or go home. And old school ballers and the 55s playing on the other diamond. Looks like it's 4-3 over there. They're in the fourth inning as well. So we got a couple of one-run ball games. Two winners will be playing next Wednesday for the championship. Of course, Marty Dozen in the Hall of Fame. There's a little ground ball. Shortstop picked it up and can't scoop it. Leadoff man on. So Adam had a little bit of time there, but he spiked the throw. Marty Dozen hustling down the line. Ended up getting there, and here's Billy. Dave Bradle on deck. These guys did some of that damage driving in some of those runs in the first inning here. Trying to recreate a little magic. There's a hot shot. Tommy Lentine over to Chris Miller. They get the fielder's choice, and that'll be it. It brings up Dave Bradle. So this game looked like it might have been a slugfest, but it's turned into a little bit of a tug of war as both teams' offenses stuck in the mud. Sean Keneally falling behind. Both pitchers done a good job. They haven't walked anybody. For the most part, they've been pitching ahead. Bradle taking all the way, and there is the first walk of the game, so I guess the Malouk lives. 2 base runners now. Brings up Dave Winslow. And there's a strike. So after walking a guy, Sean Keneally jumps right in and grabs a quick one. And I'm not sure what the delay is here. And Bradle, high infield pop-up. Should be an infield fly rule, and it is. Now it's interesting because of the fact that you have the roof, and an infield fly rule normally is a fly ball on the infield that can be caught with a routine effort. But if it hits the roof and it starts bouncing in weird directions, it's not really a routine effort, but that ball didn't get quite high enough. Here's Mike Sinise now. They need a big 2-out hit here. And Sinise delivers. We're all tied at 5. Bradle chugging into third. Now there's a problem with the relay, and Bradle scores. And the Takers reclaim the lead at 6-5. So Sinise good to know. Was that during the Depression? There's a ground ball, and Adam, a little bobble. Sinise, big turn, but he'll head back. So Pellegrino slapped it between third and short. Adam got a couple of hands on it, couldn't make the play. And here's Matty Dozen. Sinise will score on a base hit. He still moves okay. And the Takers trying to maybe get a little extra here. Billy, I'm sorry to hear you're having a health issue. Certainly say a prayer for you. And hope you feel better soon, bud. Of course, I don't know if watching these guys, Billy's the right thing to do if you got a heart condition, but the SSA disclaims any potential ramifications. So there's a swing, and that's going to be fouled down the line. It's Matty Dozen trying to cut that line. So, of course, we know the Takers earlier in the game had a runner on third with less than 3 and didn't score him. So they potentially could have been looking at a 2-run lead right now. And Matty Dozen, a little short flare, center fielder comes in, puts it away for out number 3. So halfway through the ball game, Takers have reclaimed the lead at 6-5. So, once again, thanks to Sweet Buzz, one of our Chicago Summer Series anchor partners, jumping in a little bit to also help sponsor a little bit of the media. Of course, Nick Drabo. So if you want to know more about Sweet Buzz, I don't have I think the website is getsweetbuzz.com. Must be over 18 or 21, one or the other, infused products. But feel free to grab Nick at any softball tournament, and he can fill you in a little bit more about it. So here's the first baseman leading off here. And there's a sky-high fly ball. Angelo Alicia there puts it away for out number 1. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Dale, as Tim flies out to start the bottom of the 4th. And Mike Sinise had a rough bottom of the 1st, but he settled in nicely. He's put up 3 goose eggs in a row. Grabs another strike, way ahead in the count now. Pitch landed on the plate. You can tell Mike's been around a long time pitcher for that Miller crew. Dale's worked the count full here. And now he little tap, but right on the spot is the left fielder, Matty Dozen. He puts it away for out number 2, and it brings up Sean Keneally. Looking ahead to the 5th, will be the bottom 3 hitters for the Takers. Should Sean not extend the inning, Thunder would have the top of their lineup coming up. And Sean strokes it, but right at Dozen. And we are going to head to the top of the fifth. Takers leads 6-5. They will have the top of their lineup in the fifth inning. It's going to be Ellerby, Scotty, and Tony coming up here in the top of the fifth. So it looks like the other game is also in the fifth inning, and it looks like it's 6-4 out there. Down there, I should say. So a couple of close games as the top four teams in the league playing some tight games. Two winners tonight will be playing for all the marbles next week. And I was told that game's going to be Wednesday next week at 10 p.m. And we'll be here live for it. And there's a swing, and he drives it, but left fielder right on the spot makes the play. Eric tracked it all the way and made the catch. So here's Scotty Toothpick. So Takers 4 in the top of the first, 2 in the top of the fourth for their 6. Thunder all 5 of the runs in the bottom of the first. And that ball off of Keneally, it rolls into no man's land, but Scotty finds his way on. Bradle will pinch run for him, so 1 out base runner for Tony Curico. And Angelo Alicia, the on-deck hitter and leadoff man. One on one here. Tony trying to work the count. See Bradle being pretty aggressive with his secondary, and that ball's punched up the middle, base hit. Bradle's going to get to third. Runners on the corner. So Tony just slapped it up the middle. They had the short center on the right side of the infield. And he just went through the opposite hole, beat Keneally up the middle. Runners on the corner. 1 out for Angelo Alicia. Takers trying to expand that 6-5 lead. Now, one thing about Angelo, we know he'll be patient. Played with them 1 year on the Bucketheads in 05. And I was amazed. He had more walks than some guys on that team had at-bats. And I used to call him the human rain delay because he would go 3-2 almost every time up. But, of course, Angelo, terrific bat control in the Hall of Fame, was never afraid to hit with 2 strikes. And that's when you know a guy's a good hitter. And there he punches it. Keneally. And the ball goes over Miller. Run's going to score. Meanwhile, Tony is going to get into third. So that may not have been the exact ball that Angelo wanted to hit. Keneally made a nice play. to snag the ball, but then he had to kind of rotate and try to throw across his body. He threw it high. 7-5 now. Here's Pete Raines. Again, 1 out. Now, Petey was up when they had the runner on third with 1 out, and he hit a rocket right at Sean Keneally, who knocked it down. And the runner couldn't score, and the next hitter, Tommy, came up and made the third out. And this time he makes sure he elevates. Tony tags and will score the 8th run. So Petey's been around a long time. That time you could tell he really made sure he elevated that ball. He didn't try to do too much. Drives in another run. 8-5 here in the top of the 5th. And here's Tommy. And there's a little flare out to right, and that'll be caught for the 3rd out. But they do some good work there. They push another couple of runs across as the bottom got it to the top, and they knew what to do. So we head to the bottom of the 5th, top of the Thunder lineup coming up. They trail by 3. And I'm going to take a little break here, grab a little water. I'll be right back.
Five. 5-5. You got 2 then. Yeah. 8-5.
So here we go, 8-5, bottom of the 5th. They don't have the scoreboard on tonight. Meanwhile, they've gone to the 6th, having a little trouble. I think it could be 6-6 in the other game. So Eric, Tommy, and Chris. And there's a strike. And Eric swings a little ground ball. And Winslow did a nice job. Going to show you the replay as a teaching point, kids. Watch Dave Winslow's head here as he fields this ground ball and how he looks that ball all the way in. Stayed down on it and made the throw. That's perfect form there. So here's Tommy Lentine, leadoff man down. Of course, Dave's been truly a short center a lot of his career. He's always had good hands, always been solid. Tommy Lentine goes right back at him. Big soft Sunday hop. Out number 2. So that play a lot easier for Dave Winslow, but he makes the play. And here comes Chris Miller. And I think one of the things you always worry about here, we're in the 5th. And you'd like to, of course, score this inning, but you'd like to, if you can't score, get a few hits and try to guarantee that your top is going to get another crack in either the 6th or 7th. And there's a little knuckleball. No one's going to get to that. And now there's a little bit of a little miscommunication. Angelo, I think, cut in front of Matty Dozen there, and he bobbled the throw. Miller was going to get at second base anyway. But here comes Bob. Now they got a run in scoring position. And that ball just a little outside. And Bob swings, hammers it. Billy, long throw in the dirt. Marty scoops it. So 2 out base runner at second. They can't do anything with it. And we're going to head to the top of the 6th. Takers lead 8-5.
All good.
It's been a pretty well played game. Not a lot of errors. The only one that miscue that really impacted any scoring was the high throw by Keneally on what should have been a fielder's choice, potential double play, but other than that, pretty clean. So here's Marty Dozen, Billy, and then Bradle. Takers up 3, and there's a little cut job that'll be foul. I always thought Marty Dozen was a terrific hitter when he wanted to go to the right side, to right center. Got a beautiful stroke there, but sometimes he seems to really focus on trying to cut the ball. And cutters, they tend to be stubborn hitters, where if they cut and it doesn't work out, they want to go back to it. And there's a little ground ball to Miller, and he makes the play. Leadoff man down, and here's Billy. Billy tried to walk the dog, but right on the spot is the second baseman. Made the play, Jeff. So 2 up, 2 down. Here's Bradle. And there's a ground ball knocked down. This is going to be close. No play. As the ball on that turf just kept rolling away from the first baseman. So, a little 2-out base runner here. Bradle still scoots pretty good. Winslow can hit a long stretch single. With 2 outs and running on the swing, Bradle might have a shot at scoring here. And these runs, the ones you get late, especially 2-out runs, are the ones that crush your spirit. And Winslow, little flare, and no one's going to get to it as he hits that gap. Bradle is going to score a big insurance run there as Dave Winslow threw it toward the gap in right center. And running on the swing, easy for Bradle to score. 9-5 here, top of the 6th. It brings up Mike Sinise, who's been pitching a gem since the first inning. And there's a hammer.
Come on.
Chris Miller can't make the play. Winslow stopped at third. Very conservative coaching. Miller had such a long throw. You might have wanted to send Winslow there, but it looks like it's Tony Curio over there. I don't think Patty Caputo was very happy about it. Here's Pellegrino. Of course, we're all over 50, and you do got to go to work. And coming in and making the catch is the right fielder. So they score one as Matty Dozen flies out to end the inning. Patty Caputo whispering in my ear there a little bit. So bottom of the sixth, 9-5. Thunder has not scored since the first. And the Takers just been slowly but surely eking out. So it's going to be Jeff, Adam, and Vinny. And again, you'd like to... You're looking at 5, 6, 7. They are hitting 10. So they got to get a few base runners here if they want their top to get another crack in this game. And there he juices one. Another nice catch by Bradle. That ball was awful high near the ceiling, but he tracked it all the way. It did not hit the roof, and Bradle made the running catch. See there on the replay. So second nice catch by Davey Bradle out there tonight. Here's the big shortstop, Adam. And there he scalds one. So two good swings this inning. Jeff didn't get any love. Adam just stroked it. Brings up Vinny with one out here. And of course, I think if you're the Takers here, you've been pretty solid defensively. I think what you want to do here is just keep counting outs. And there's a little pop fly. That'll be out number 2. Brings up the first baseman, Tim. Looking ahead to the 7th, bottom 3 hitters for the Takers. This is hitter 8 in the Thunder lineup. There are 2 outs now, so of course Pete Rain's a lefty thrower. Catching, there's a fly ball. Bradle is there. And he puts it away, so we head to the 7th. Takers leading here by 4. They'll have the bottom part of their lineup. Meanwhile, in the bottom of the 7th, it's going to be the bottom 2 hitters for Thunder. And they got a lot of work to do, and they certainly need to hold a score here. And as I look down on the other field now, they're in the 7th, and it is I want to say it's 11-7 down there. Not sure who's winning. That was a tie game in the 6th. And now it's 11-7. Looks like the home team is winning that game. Not sure if that's top or bottom. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Matty Dozen. I made a mistake. Pellegrino made the last out in the 6th. And Matty, a little ground ball. Great play there. Dropped it. And that's all it took for Matty to hustle and beat it down here. So good job there by the first baseman, Tim, to glove it. But then it fell out of his glove and he couldn't make the play. I mean, at that point, It was a heck of a job to get to it, but at that point, that ball would have been handled by the second baseman, Jeff, I'm pretty sure. And there's a little pop-up. Going back is Miller. He'll make the catch. Second baseman comes over. 1 out, brings up Scotty. Of course, Matty Dozen still runs really well. Anything hit into an alley, and Matty's going to probably score relatively easily. Josephine, if you're watching, your better half just said hello. So here's Scotty Toothpick. And he swings and he drives it, going back, and he got over the left fielder. Short hops the fence and bangs around out there. Matt Dozen scores, and we got a 5 and dime game now, 10-5. Scotty just sat back, hit it about 209. It got over the left fielder. Short hopped the fence and then kicked back past the left fielder. And he's shaking his right arm there. I think he threw it up awkwardly, trying to stop the ball from bouncing over his head once it short hopped the wall. Here's Tony. Sean Keneally knocks it down. Nice job there. Now the runner's going to try to score, and he will. Aggressive base running there by Scotty Toothpick. And a ground ball back to the pitcher. He scores from second base. Throw was up the line. First baseman had to snag it, and then he tried to make sure Richie Hennessy, the umpire, saw the catch. And Scotty just kept on running. So 2 big insurance runs here. It's now 11-5 for Angelo Alicia. So Thunder's going to have a lot of work to do in the bottom of the 7th if they want to continue to participate in these playoffs. Nobody on base here for Angelo Alicia. And now it's 11-10 over there. And Angelo, base hit. He's going to go. The ball skipped past. So it was 11-7. Not sure who won down there. But the visiting team did put up 3 to make it close. 1-run win down there. I did not really see who was in the field when the game ended. So here's Petey Raines. Now Matty does a good job of staying in shape for sure. And there's a ground ball. Shortstop, plenty of guns, but not in time. Safe, another run scores. And that's going to make it 12-5. So Petey Raines, a lefty, falling out of that box, ends up beating it. And brings up Tommy Matea. So the Takers started out fast, dead for a couple innings, but they're finishing strong. And there's a ground ball, backhanded, play at first, and Sean Keneally can't hold on. So the wheels falling off the cart here for Thunder a little bit this inning. They were playing a pretty clean game, but this inning they've had a couple of bobbles. They just can't seem to get out of this inning here. Here comes Marty Dozen. Thunder finds itself down 7 now. And there's a hard ground ball. He backhands it. Now he throws it over the top of Sean Keneally. Another run scores. So the first baseman, Tim, not sure if he could have went to second on that, but he had all kinds of time. He tried to kind of backhand the throw a little bit. Brings up Billy. Base hit here. Could put 2 more on the board. Sean Keneally rubbing that left knee a little bit. He's had to try to hustle over here a couple of times this inning to cover the bag. Now, pitching is a lot harder than it looks. I know people are like, oh, he's just walking over. And there's a base hit that's going to play 2 more. And the Takers have just blown this game open. They lead by 10. And I know some of you might be talking about or thinking about the mercy rule, but number 1, Thunder would get a chance to hit. Number 2, we're in the 7th. So the game is going to go. Mercy rule wouldn't apply in this situation. So here's Davey Bradle now. And Davey tries to go big. And he goes over, and that is going to stay in the park. Another run is going to score. 16-5 Takers. And Bradle hammered that into right center field. As we are going on 11:22 here in the Chicagoland area. We're glad you tuned in. Again, the game did not start at 10 a.m. They had youth baseball on the field. So it did start about 15 minutes late. And Bradle, little pop-up, and that'll do it. Do or die. Bottom of the 7th coming up here for Thunder. So Winslow pops out. It's going to be Dale, Sean, and then the top of the lineup. Thunder needs 11 for the game to continue. 12, they walk them off. Anything less, and Takers will advance to the championship. And it looks like there might be a pinch hitter here for Dale. They want to say this is Mike Conlon. Hadn't really noticed him earlier in the day. I wonder if he got here a little late after the ball game started. And now if you're Mike Sinise, you just want to throw strikes. And there's a little ground ball hit right to Tommy. Throw to first in time. 1 dead. Takers 2 outs away from playing in the championship. weekend, I believe we'll be out at Harrison Park on Saturday for some softball. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. And Keneally, a little ground ball, and Scotty Toothpick and Billy just kind of were, you can see Sean's really grimacing there. He keeps reaching down for that leg, so they'll get a courtesy runner for him. And it's funny because this guy hit for Dale. You'd think he would have hit for Sean. So here's the leadoff guy, Eric, and that ball, a little short hop. Matea steps, throws, double play, and that's how the game will end. Nicely done by Matea. And we'll show you the replay on that. And you can see Tommy, plenty of gun, just gets him. And that's how our game ends. So we're glad you tuned in. Takers will be in the championship game next week. We will have it live for you right here on SSA and our socials. And it should be a good one. Final score, 16-5, Takers. We love you. Thank you for tuning in.